Ladies, gentlemen, folks beyond the binary, grab your husband, wife, partner, mistress, some watercolors, a noose, and gather around your radio. It's time for this week's meeting of the Erotic Thriller Club.
Not rude or crude, he's always tastefully nude. In this hardcore world, he's a softcore dude. His antithesis, mysterious and dangerous. And oh yes, they've got all the sexiest movies out on VHS. So if you're fatally attracted to the racier stuff, Erotic Film Club. Basically, instinctively crave the salacious. Erotic Film Club. If you want a racy movie and you're too classy for smut, Erotic Film Club. We can watch them and discuss them all ad nauseam. Erotic Film Club.
You make morbid paintings. You're successful but sad. And also the biggest effing dumb loser on the planet. You fall in love with a girl on a phone sex hotline. Get catfished, get framed for murder, but also get a little piece of ass. Come on a journey with us that disproves that anything can sound smart with a British accent. This week on the Erotic Thriller Club, Fleshtone. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's meeting of the Erotic Thriller Club. As always, Garrett Callender and Kit Ryan here.
And this is where we answer the genre's three most important questions. Was I aroused? Was I thrilled? And would I ruin my life for this person?
I hate this movie, Kit.
I do too. I know some of our listeners want to watch the movie first before they watch they listen to our episode. Don't. I'm sorry if you already did. I'm so sorry, but please don't.
This movie might make some people nostalgic for a time before internet pornography, where you had to sit through a whole movie on Cinemax and listen to it in hopes to eventually see some nudity to get you to where you need to be. That sucks. That really sucks. It sucks too that movies like this, they just put so little effort into anything in between the nudity that
What are you talking about? They gave you all those beautiful Butler paintings, Garrett. Clearly, some real love and effort was put into those.
okay, let's just hop into this. Our lead in this movie, and this is actually why I ended up choosing the movie. Like a lot of the time with these movies, I'm just scouring lists and looking at different things until something captures my imagination. And there was one description of this movie, or the plot synopsis, that as I was reading it, described him as an artist who painted photos of himself committing suicide. And though he was successful, he still wasn't happy. And that made me laugh. That the man whose entire life work is painting photos of himself isn't happy. But that isn't all he paints, Kit. He has a series of paintings that come off as regular, but once you talk to him and find out what the person in the painting is thinking or looking at that you, the viewer, can't see, you would have never interpreted that art correctly.
And these are not super abstract paintings. You don't like the idea that this man is going to stand here and tell you what this painting is really about when it is not. It's either super obvious, yes, it is a butler who is looking at a lady. Thank you for telling me, sir. Or it's something you would never ever interpret that way, such as the more she is unavailable to him, the more aroused he gets. I didn't read that.
No, and this is his whole Butler series. We're at his art show. His paintings are expensive, and because of his accent and that he is the artist, there are attractive women coming up to him saying, "Oh, I like your Butler painting." But he'll
But
say something.
he doesn't want her or something. Like he totally brushes that woman off to go then instead talk to a lady from an ad in a ye olde porno newspaper thing. This is a thing that used to exist, I
The
guess.
Oh, for sure. There used to be, I mean, I think a lot of it would have been in the back of, like nudie mags, but I'm sure that in bigger cities there was like, the newspaper box that you could go pull the free smut paper out of that had stuff like this.
What a beautiful time.
Can we describe the man that we got to tell everybody that the star of this movie is Martin Kemp, who was the vampire and Embrace of the Vampire.
And he did not get any less pathetic, did he?
No, no. I think though that this genre for him, because you said he was in a British band that had a hit we remember, and I
Yes.
I already don't remember what band.
Nope, me neither. Forgot
But
about it
this is
entirely.
like he sucks. He's not good at this. However, if I
Mm-mm.
had to be, slaving away for the man at a 9 to 5 at my desk, or I could make these meaningless movies where I'm an attractive-ish man who pretends to do sex for a living. I guess that's I mean, does he make
Mm,
enough money from this that like you're financially stable for say 6 months?
I don't know. They were I'm looking them up now to remind myself. Spando Ballet. They did do Live Aid, so they must have
Yeah,
been
that's he
somebody.
was he was there.
He
Well, I
was
remember you
there.
you sang the song, and I remember absolutely not believing you because I did see that Fleshtone is a type of electronic, like synthy pop music as well. So I didn't know if the title came from like, oh, this is the guy from that
Oh.
band.
I don't know, because I mean, tone like a dial tone, flesh like murder and sex, flesh tone like painting. This title has layers.
Layers, more layers than one of his paintings that he had to paint over. I this man, to describe the way he looks like this feels I don't know how much I wanna say what I'm about to say. He feels like a school shooter all grown up.
Oh no! But you're right, though.
He's dressed like Neo from The Matrix for this whole movie,
Yeah, he
and
definitely thinks that long trench coat is working for him. It isn't.
he literally looks like a guy I went to school with that did get suspended for threatening to shoot up the school.
Yeah, yeah, you could see this guy like carrying a knife with him at all times, and you're like, why? That's not
But
for work.
he's not deep, he's an idiot, he's sad.
Hmm.
The kid at one point towards the beginning of this movie, I had to pause for 5 minutes while I alone laughed uncontrollably and had to choke out the words out loud to no one. What a loser.
I would love to know at which exact scene
Um,
that overwhelmed you, because I had a very similar moment.
let's see. If we were in the first little bit of this movie, I mean, I'm sure it was 100% during the first phone sex call.
That's when you, because mine was when he started playing the guitar in the alley, sitting on a heap of trash.
He's very talented. He can do multiple things. He's yeah, that no, well that was pretty losery too. But yeah, he has the art show. We're introduced to this is important. We got to say his two friends. One is an old British posh man whose job is he's fancy and rich,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think. His
Mhm.
other friend is the most dipshit like mean
Bar guy,
bar
the bar
owner.
owner, yeah, which he named after himself.
That being said, the guy who I thought was meanest is the only person who's if this is his only friend, he hits this man with a level of honesty that he
Mm.
requires.
Yes, he needs this man in his life, and he should listen to him more, because this guy is brutal. And and we have to talk about the butler fetish thing because it keeps coming back. He asks this friend, this is one of the ones that, so he's imagining what he could do with this beautiful woman, he assumes, that he has been having phone sex with. And he's like, what if we had a dinner date next to the Hollywood sign and you were like dressed as a waiter, but you never said it, and you just served us as we sit here out in the middle of the night outside next to the Hollywood sign, and you just like poured champagne for us. And also me and her, we wouldn't talk either because his fantasy is so stupid. It's a silent dinner for everyone.
That being said, like, this is stupid, but from
Mhm.
his friend's perspective, he is going to get paid in one of these paintings that presumably is worth thousands of dollars now.
This man owns a bar. He doesn't need your money. He doesn't need your painting money.
Well, didn't the
Not
posh
nearly
rich
as
man
much
say,
as
like,
he needs your dignity.
he needs a new fucking friend is what he needs, the bar owner, but
Mm.
sometimes you end up with somebody that it's like you picked up a stray dog along the way. This is your stray dog, and it is your responsibility regardless of how you feel.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
y
did my stray dog have to be this pathetic? And Garrett, you know that I own a really pathetic dog. But like, this is a new level of pathetic.
oh, yeah, this guy I have a stray cat that
Mhm.
we've had for years, and I think this guy pisses on the rug more than my cat.
You know what? Good point. Yeah, we found a stray dog that had an ear infection and some swelling in his brain, and that dog fell over all the time and walked into walls. That dog is less pathetic than this man.
This man metaphorically walks into a lot of like, this is a guy who you constantly walk in and he is metaphorically eating his own shit. Like, he has his art show. He goes and mopes around LA, has a
Mhm.
really hilarious sad little walk where he makes eye contact with people who make eye contact back and their eyes shout, "What a sad loser," to his face. He
And he
find
knows.
and he takes the sex paper off another table that is just left, sees the let's see, let me read
Oh,
the
please
ad
read the ad because
that
he reads a lot into this ad.
folks, the amount this man reads into this ad, he needs to be institutionalized.
There's
Here's the
poetic
ad.
license, and then there's whatever he's doing.
He fills in a lot of blanks in his brain here. The ad in the paper says, "Very private." Basically, shy and lonely young woman who understands the pain of love lost seeks to share erotic fantasies. Sometimes it's better with a stranger. Please call Edna.
Mm-hmm. Please call
This is
Edna.
my grandma's friend. I have to call my grandma's friend to jerk off on the phone?
And then we find out Edna is from Kansas City, Mo. Where they still name people Edna, I guess.
That is, I mean, I don't know. Well, Kansas City's, I think a little hipper now than it was in 1994. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
mean for us to do two 1994 movies back to back,
What a
but
year. What a stellar year that had this movie in it.
the, this conversation, though, when he calls this woman is insane. Even if you're a phone sex worker, you would, I mean, I guess you wouldn't hang up because you're getting the money. Like, this is an
Mm-hmm.
800 number, though. It's not a 900 number. So I don't know how this even works. I don't think he says he's getting charged, but he
He
didn't
says
have to,
he's
like,
not. No, he says he's not getting charged, that she never asked for money, that this is real love.
This woman would have been getting calls day and night. This is like when that rapper Mike Jones put his phone number in one of his songs and was just taking phone calls from fans all day. You can't tell me that you're not getting a dozen of these guys every an hour calling you.
Well, only he truly understood the deeper meaning of her message, which is that she
Mhm, please
is
say.
um obsessed with the ecstasy of sex and death, I believe, something along those lines.
I thought maybe I understood your message. And she says, "What's that?" He says, "We have the same kind of imagination. Wild, dangerous, dark, romantic, something to do with ecstasy and death, pain, desire." And then she's like, "Who are you?"
I told you my name is Matt.
Oh my god. Yeah, man, you deciphered the code. You
Yep,
read, "Call this number to
to
come,"
jerk it.
but
Call it to jerk it. And then he doesn't. That's the wildest thing is like they show a little montage of them talking and he's gesturing wildly while on the phone and I'm like, "Are you gonna touch you gonna jerk you gonna jerk it, buddy?"
well, I
Cuz
mean,
he's
I know a
not.
lot of these lines, is like are just kind of for if you're lonely. It doesn't have to
Mm.
always be sex, but her side was absolutely sex because she's describing I'm a medium size, hot, blonde, big tits, and we're getting a montage of just hot, naked lady masturbating
Yeah, yeah.
while
That's
while
the
this
really
pud
fun
sits in
part
a
is that
chair.
we get to see his imagination of what's happening. And the fact that he believes any of this shows what an absolute tool he is. She's like, "Yes, when I was taking the pictures for to send to you, I had my friend come over and she's a real bad girl and we were both so drunk and she just started to 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 touch me and wow, I've never done anything like this before." And I'm like, "Geez, you just read this out of the back of a porno mag. Like this is not oh,
That being
god,
said, we get to watch this whole scene as
we
he's hearing
do.
it, and his reaction is like, "Really? Yes, sir.
Wow.
Really, this." And Kit, she isn't just a bad girl, she's an
Mm-mm.
alcoholic suicidal prostitute.
Mhm, mhm.
Her
Sometimes you
friend, I
have a
mean.
friend, her wink wink friend is an alcoholic suicidal prostitute. Um, the one that really got me though was when she says, "I got your picture, of you naked that you sent to me, and I put it in the visor of my car."
Mhm.
And then I drove really fast wearing only a coat. And I, started driving down this country road dangerously fast, touching myself. And I'm like,
Country road, take
yeah.
me to the place.
Where I touch myself, thinking about your pasty white body.
Kansas City.
It's so stupid. It's so bad. The fact that he believes this for even half a second when it is so clearly designed to be a man's fantasy. And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's a real thing that a woman definitely did while looking at my body." Fuck you. She wouldn't have done that if it was Brad Pitt's naked body.
I and the whole time he's hearing this and just you're seeing footage of this woman like spliced over the top of him just sitting in a chair like, "Wow, your stories are
Wow.
crazy." Um, he's sitting there in his tidy whities, and like some guys will
Ugh.
stuff a sock in their pants to make it the bulge look better. I'm pretty sure he did stuff his tidy whities, but only in the balls. Like it was
Mhm.
important for this man to show me he had enormous balls.
Yeah.
So as they talk and they start to discuss his paintings, his small talk with a woman is I'm obsessed with serial killers. I used to draw portraits of the Bundy killings,
The
and then
red
he starts,
Black Dahlia.
and she said, "Well, can you paint me?" And, she has sent photos. We have seen nude photos of this woman,
Oh,
and
no,
he's
he
going
had
to
already painted her. He did not wait for consent. He took that picture, blew it up big onto a canvas, and then painted her, and then told her about it. And she was like, "Oh, that's so hot. But can you change it in a way that we won't specify until later in the movie? It's pretty obvious."
and the whole time in between all of these meetings, he's meeting with his buddy at the bar who's just like, "Why are you this is insane. What you're
Yeah.
doing is dumb." I mean, have you ever had a friend who has fallen in love with the stripper, fallen and
Mhm.
thought the waitress at Hooters loved him,
Mhm.
or her, whatever, like I have definitely run into this where it is an awkward conversation to be like, "I'm sorry, the go-go dancer doesn't love you."
The fact that he doesn't even realize he's probably not the only one she's talked to. That she feeds him the line about like, "Oh, I did it on a dare with my girlfriends while we were in LA, but I'm not that type of girl." Ha 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 ha.
Hey, I
Okay.
actually did, speaking of, everybody's gonna be like, "What a fucking loser." I did have a Hooters waitress get weird with me once.
Mm, mm,
I will tell you that. So we went to the same Hooters very regularly in LA
why?
because, well, I didn't have cable. I needed a place to watch sports. They opened a Buffalo Wild Wings around the corner from this Hooters. So this
Mhm.
Hooters was always empty, always had all you can eat wings, and they would put anything you wanted on any television because there was no one else in there. So I could go have big TV for sports to myself, unlimited wings the entire time I sat there watching one game, and just the place to myself. So we often went there, and I did once have a server who came over and said, "Hey," she wasn't even my server, Kit.
Mm,
I remember her name even. Her name was Felix. That
interesting.
also sounds made up.
Yeah.
I was with my girlfriend and she said, "Hey, I saw you the other day at the Burbank Mall and I followed you around for a while and I really wanted to talk to you, but I saw that you were with a another lady, so I didn't."
Garrett, are you sure? Are you 100% sure that this woman is not a ghoul? Because this sounds remarkably like Body Double.
Oh. Now that you say it, her face did look like it was made of rubber. Very pale, and actually at one point she tried to hand me something and my hand just passed straight through. This Hooters has been abandoned for years, Mr. Calendar.
You were just in there watching nothing. You That's why you always seem to remember the games differently than everyone who watched it at the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Somebody walking by this dark Hooters, me just cheering as I'm looking. There were shocking amount of people dancing in ball gowns. What the hell?
How odd.
Your money's no good here, Mr. Calendar. And the wings, they never stop. Endless.
Endless wings. Come eat wings with us, Garrett.
But no, I never ended up
Forever.
with old Felix. I hope she's doing well though.
Oh.
But Leah did think it was super weird that she came and said that to me in front of Leah.
Yeah, the fact that she was like, "I followed you at a mall, but didn't want to talk to you because you were with a lady. I'll just come talk to you while you're with a lady right now at my work."
We were a little concerned that Leah might get poisoned, but also it was Hooters, so it's hard to say, was it Felix? Was it just the quality of the food?
The food, yeah, there's no way to know.
Have you ever had phone sex?
I had a long distance boyfriend when I went off to college for the first time. So, yes, we definitely uh had sexy chats via the phone quite a bit. But
Same,
that was with
same.
someone I already knew. It was not with some lady named Edna in Kansas City.
Yeah, same. I've never done that, and my dorm room didn't have good cell reception, so there was only one corner, so I really had to, like, Blair Witch myself in order to have phone sex in my freshman year, I had to Blair Witch myself against my desk, and I remember the first time as it was happening, it was just like, "Oh, no, there's no tissues, there's nowhere for this to happen." Folks, clean your desks when you get to college. There's no talk. There was nowhere to go. What am I supposed to do?
Garrett, please tell me at least one point some roommate walked in on you while you were standing in the corner masturbating while on the phone.
No, no, that did not happen.
Ah,
Shame, shame,
I
shame.
know.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
just like, what's happening? I think I was possessed by a witch. Don't worry about it. Mind your mind your business.
So anyway, he's such a unique, special snowflake because he's obsessed with true crime, unlike everyone else, and he thinks about
Ahead of
death
his
and the
time.
end of the world. No one else does that. You're such a special, unique snowflake. Yeah, so he changes the painting because he puts a sheet over whatever he's done to change it, so that
Mhm.
and it's real bad looking. But anyway, she says she's coming to town. So he's so excited.
Yeah, it becomes for a few scenes a real will they, won't they, as she cancels, uncancels, cancels, uncancels.
Yeah, and he's dusted his hippo skull and everything, so you know he was really looking forward to this.
Where his room was pathetic. Like, his
Yeah.
room was the most setty set that's ever set
Mhm.
in a
Mhm.
film. It was just a bed, a lamp, a guitar, a rug. But then you're right. I guess had a studio with a hippo skull. Those aren't cheap.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell if I think they were the same space. So like this man owns a really nice car, a fucking $9,000 hippo skull, right? But also dresses purely in white tank tops and tidy whities, owns like the world's tiniest refrigerator, doesn't use a drop cloth, so he does not give a shit about these floors. Um, and
He's not
has
getting the deposit back, yeah.
a single mattress on the floor. Not even a double. He can't just a single mattress on the floor.
Well, he's a
And
lanky, thin man. He doesn't have company. What, like, he probably sleeps
he
with his
can
arms
afford
crossed
that
like a
car.
Dracula.
He does. He's not even a vampire in this movie, and that's how he sleeps. But yeah, but like he can afford the fancy car, Garrett. He sells very expensive paintings. What? Buy yourself a goddamn bed. No wonder you're depressed.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't have a frame for a while, and it was just a mattress on the floor.
Was it a
I think
single mattress?
no, it was a king.
There you go. Now you're living large.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll be honest. I think that sometimes
He buys
um
special lighting so that he can have little spotlights on all of his paintings and the hippo skull, but he can't afford a double mattress, like a full
we
size
can. He
mattress.
doesn't care. I'm saying I think that certain people put too much
Money into their
too much
hobbies.
thought into just a bed frame. I think that
Mm.
for you mentally, the mattress not being on the floor does more for you than it does for a lot of guys. But maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe if it were raised up a little bit, sadness
Mhm.
rises to the bottom. It lifts you a little above the sadness that hovers
Exactly. We
and
all know
stinks up
that
the floor.
yes, sadness is a heavy thing that sinks to the ground, and you need to put yourself up above it. I'm just saying maybe if he treated himself a little bit better. You know.
Let's just get to where after a couple will they won't theys, he gets
Oh,
a call middle
please,
of
you
the night.
have to though describe when he what he asks his buddy to do when he goes to the airport and he's like, "I need you, my best friend, to dress up as my limo driver when I pick up this girl."
This poor fucking guy. I mean, he's probably at this rate though gotten $10,000 worth of paintings for dressing up as a butler once in a fantasy and once for real to go to the airport. I
And then
hope he
yes, he
still got the painting that
gets
she didn't show up.
I right? Yeah, she stands him up at the airport, which is ice fucking cold, and his response to it is to go play guitar in the alley, sitting on literal trash. And that was where I died. I could not I just started cackling.
What point did, because it sounded like John had the same reaction I did of what
Mhm.
a fucking
Mhm.
loser. When did he say it?
That was then. That was then. And then we decided that we were going to write his own we would write the song that he's singing which went something like E is for Edna, D is for dang it, N is for not showing up at the airport, A is for airport.
And absolute disappointment. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I think that he would have thrown in a little more. Well, I do like that. I think that somewhere in there, a serial killer reference or a dismemberment or
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
something icky and macabre would
Oh,
would fall in. Maybe that.
D is for decapitation. There you go.
But yeah,
No,
eventually.
she calls and apologizes. My totally real friend that I didn't make up is dead. That's why
Mm,
I didn't come. My rich friend is dead. And or my not my rich my prostitute
alcoholic.
alcoholic best friend who was dating a rich guy is committed suicide or maybe murdered. I don't know. It's in all the papers though. And his buddy is like, can you just fucking look this bitch up?"
I was so not ready for this when his friend is just like, "Hey, why don't you get to that part of every erotic thriller where you get to be a detective?"
Yeah.
There's never been a character I've wanted to see do detective work less, Kit. I watched Gutenberg do detective work all day. I would even go back and watch Steven Weber fall into some detective work in Single White Female. I
Mhm.
don't want to see this man do detective work. I hate him. He sucks.
Mhm. Mhm.
I This is such a depressing lead character that I've been following for 40 minutes.
Yeah, he's very hateable. And you know, it turns out that he calls like the Kansas City Police Department and none of this shit's real. None of it. All the stuff she said about her dead friend, it's not real. Which I was thinking, wouldn't it be hilarious if she did not, in fact, lie to him? Every single thing she said was true. He just called the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department instead of the Kansas City,
Missouri,
Missouri Police Department, and he
common
assumed
mistake.
easy mistake to make. And yeah, so if he had just called the right Kansas City, they would have been like, absolutely, this is in all of the newspapers. It's a horrible, tragic story.
That actually would have been a better twist than anything else that happened in this movie. That would be such a funny little. It's like, yeah, there a river separates them.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's a better movie. But yeah,
Yeah.
so she eventually calls, says she's coming. She
I'm
calls when
here.
she's there.
I'm here. I'm at a motel waiting for you, just like in the painting. And you're like, okay, well, I guess whatever weird thing she wanted done to the painting is gonna be what he finds. And yep, she has been sawed in half like a lady in a magic show.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a shock when the when that pulled back, I mean, I was expecting some sort of violence, but not a perfect having.
Yes. Yes, which is weird considering there's no blood and no other marks on her body. I'm not sure why, how this was
I think they said that
accomplished.
in the news, it said she was drained of her blood. Like, effort was put into this.
Serious effort was put into it.
Like, they can use those sheets again and will.
Oh, they absolutely will.
Not a
100%.
drop. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
hotel sheets are scary. And this is why. The ghost of a halved woman has been in your sheets.
I mean, she wasn't killed there. She was clearly moved there later, so it's not a big deal, right?
But after he pulls the sheets and this woman's been halved, two men come out of the bathroom, one
Yep.
holding a syringe, and we get into the craziest choreographed fight I've ever seen. Not even because it
Mm,
gets crazier later with the
mhm.
choreographed fights.
Please describe. Please describe.
Well, anytime there's sex in this movie or violence, we hit the slow mo because if you hit the
Mhm.
slow mo, then maybe that helps explain why this happened. Guy charges him with the syringe. He moves to the left. Like that's it. He he moves to the side and the guy accidentally syringes his buddy.
Yep.
He runs out the door. This man now pulls a switchblade and what is an amazing shot where the
Oh,
man's arm,
gorgeous.
if the movie were in 3D, the switchblade would have flicked right at your nose. And yeah, another poor scuffle and a drive away.
And of course, when something like this happens, the first place you should go is your friend's bar.
Yeah, no calling the police. Even his friend at this point has given the worst advice he's given the whole movie, which is, yeah, definitely don't get mixed up in the police on this one.
Yeah.
And for whatever reasons, because as they're watching the news, it pops up that this body has been found, that
And
it
they're
is
looking for him.
for him, but the person that he found dead in the bed was a important government person
She's
who,
Margaret Peel, not Edna, an activist against illegal arms deals in the Middle East. So I'm thinking Oliver North murdered her. Is that what I'm getting from this?
so the woman that he came upon is not super different from the woman from his fantasies. However, the most attractive government official I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, gorgeous. I mean, and it is the lady from the pictures, which
It
is
yeah,
weird. They never bothered to explain how he got pictures of this woman naked, like why this woman had naked pictures. We don't need to worry about it.
yeah,
You
all
can
of the
doctor
dialogue is
that.
getting in the way of nudity. Like this is
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying like you're up at 3 in the morning watching Cinemax. This is the only option you have for visual pleasure. I hate this for you that you have to sit through all of this plot and dialogue. Kit, you and I truly
Hmm.
should write a movie of this quality, but I think we can elevate it. I don't think it would have taken that much
Well,
to just make it not suck a little.
right? Just put in my bit about it being Kansas City, Missouri versus Kansas City, Kansas.
End on a big laugh there. Like that's a great like everybody got to masturbate and that at the end they're like, "Oh, you
You
son of a
got
bitch."
oh, you got me. No, instead there's he's like, "Oh no. Okay, so that dead person definitely isn't the same person I've been talking to. That Edna has set me up. This is all some big conspiracy that all started with an ad in a sex newspaper because that makes a whole lot of sense." Um and then next thing you know, he's like, I gotta go find her. I gotta go find the real Edna in Kansas City. So this
Where he
wanted,
has been recording his calls at this point too.
yes,
So,
because on advice from his buddy, and this wanted criminal whose face is on the news just gets on a plane.
dressed as Neo from the Matrix.
Pre 9/11 was so weird. Apparently, they would just let anyone on a plane. They did not care.
Yeah, he actually used his wanted photo as an ID to get through security. When we see him on the plane, I've never been happier that someone got stuck with a metal seat than him.
Yeah,
I hate
same.
him. I hate him, and that's like a 4-hour flight. That sucks, and he's just sitting there listening to his tapes.
Yeah, he's just
It's
listening to the same phone conversation with her over and over again. And it's not even one of the really sexy ones. It's one of the ones where she's like apologizing for not having shown up.
the scene where we now are in Kansas City. He knows where she works because she works at this boutique. He recognizes her voice, so he goes in. This scene is very aggressive, Kit.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He sees this redheaded woman and he's like, "She lied about being a redhead? What else has she lied to me about? She said she was blonde."
Yeah, he gets there, and I mean, he immediately is like, "Bitch, I have a gun. Get in the back. I am going to ask you questions and fucking kill you."
Yeah, yeah. He goes straight for, and she's like, What? Just because I didn't go to LA? That's not cool." And he's
I'm a
like,
phone sex operator. Leave me
"What do you want
alone.
from me?"
And the woman, I would say, like, visually, like, kind of a Molly Ringwald type. She's got, like, the short red hair.
But like an edgier Molly Ringwald. Like Molly Ringwald after she had, you know, one or two fucks in a back alley where she did a little heroin.
That's how you saw this woman?
Did she not look like she'd done heroin to you? I didn't
I
think
just
see
thought she looked like a lady. Like,
no. No. I don't think she's a heroin addict.
but
I
she's
just think
tried.
she's tried it.
She's had a little dabble. The
Yeah,
next thing, okay, so as he chases this woman
through
through the
the
hotel
mall
into the
or
garage.
whatever. And first of all, terrible instincts on her part. You ran out of the crowded place that has security guards to
Mhm.
the empty parking garage. You are a moron.
This scene broke my brain in a couple ways. So they scuffle next to her cool red muscle car. She's parked like shit, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
oh yeah.
she is parked in a way that no one can park next to her. It sucks. She's on the ground and sees that there's a bomb under her car. So they're both like, "Oh shit, we got to get out of here." So they go to her other car. She's got two cars in the parking
Well,
garage,
it's like a delivery van, I guess, for her. She says the delivery van. And I
which is
don't
also
know
parked like
why,
shit.
which is also parked like shit. And I don't know why she would need a delivery van. She works in a little boutique in attached to a hotel. Like she ain't making deliveries. What are you talking about?
This van is not it's not like a big white, like,
No. It's
get
like
some candy and come in this van with me. This is like a family van. This is like
yes,
a deluxe family van that has a TV in the back for the kids to watch so that they don't bother you on your way to
to the Grand
wherever.
Canyon.
Yes. It
Hmm. And she's so chill, by the way. She's just like, Wait a minute, there's a bomb under my car. Never mind, even though you've been trying to kill me and I cut your face with a straight razor, I guess, that I just happen to keep in my purse at all times for just such an occasion. I'm on your side. We're running away together.
they get a hotel room
Nope,
and
nope, nope. They go to
oh,
her
they're at her boyfriend's
boyfriend's
house.
house.
They go to her boyfriend's house. He is so quickly able to charm her for reasons. And keep in mind, there is now a bomb in a public place, and they fuck for about an hour.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, I guess I should call the
You should
police
call
and
that
tell
in.
them that there's a bomb under the car." But first we have to have sex. She says, "Listen, I was just paid to have phone sex with you. I don't know anything about any murders. I was just doing a job." And he's like, "But were you? What parts of it were real?" And she's like, aren't you trying like aren't people trying to frame you for murder and or kill you? Like why is your main concern how much I really got off during our phone sex conversations?
Because he's an idiot. He's an idiot loser. He's an idiot
Ye-
loser who needs somebody to like him.
I can't I don't feel like we've expressed enough just how truly lame, pathetic, and sad this man is. And I don't mean in a lovable kind of way. He's not an Eeyore type sad where you just want to scoop him up and give him a hug. He's sad in the way that makes you want to kick him.
And I mean, his friend does.
Hmm.
His friend gives him tough love every day.
It doesn't seem to
And
be helping.
no, no. I hate
I
everything that
hate
happens
him.
because so we know that this lady has been paid to do all this. I hope you don't need anything explained for the rest of the movie as to the
You're
why
not
of it
gonna get
all,
it.
because
You're
you
not gonna
don't
get it.
get it. There's no,
No,
there's
was it the mob? Was it the cops? Was it the FBI? Was it Oliver North? We don't know. It doesn't matter, okay? You're not going to find out. But yeah, he's like once he knows this woman is a hooker and he's still his main concern in all of this is not who is doing this to me or why, who is this poor lady that was murdered and why did they no, it's all about like do you really like me?
and the answer is no, but she
No,
still
but I'll have
goes
sex
with
with
him
you anyway. God. Which just goes to show that a British accent can go a long way, Garrett.
a, such a long way, such a long way. I love this. They go to they're like, okay, now that we've called in the bomb, let's have sex one more time. Find
First
her
in the
boyfriend.
yeah, but they have sex in the bathroom, and then they move to the bed, and it's all in super janky slow mo. I cannot explain to you how janky this slow mo looks. It was clearly not shot for slow mo. They decided after the fact that, like, no, we didn't get enough shots of boobs or something, so we gotta stretch it
Oh,
out.
and the stretching out that they're giving me is just kissing and necking and kissing and necking. And we just
Mm
watched Color of Night where Bruce Willis is getting down and we wanted
hmm. Mm
more.
hmm.
This I
Mm hmm.
wanted so much less. I would have taken no nudity in the whole movie if it would just make this go away.
I just didn't want him to have sexual gratification, I think. I think I wanted him to forever be blue balls. Uh and then the music is like elevator music with a lady going like ah, ah, ah. It's so bad.
The music in this movie is really funny because it'll go between noirish music, sad music, and like at the beginning, we just
The
see
beginning
him by
was
a
the beginning where he's by the tree with the news taking a picture of himself. It was like something out of a David Lynch movie, the
Mhm.
music. It was 100% David Lynch, and then it cuts to him painting, and we're in like full synthy jazzy.
It literally sounds like they ripped off the Beverly Hills Cop Axel F theme.
Yes, yes,
At
it does.
100% is like, how much can we change Axel F and still use it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
without having to pay? Yeah.
So yeah, they fucked. Now I guess they'll go to LA and talk to the cops. That's their great plan. But first, he wants to sketch her like one of his French girls, and she casually mentions, "I had a guy killed once," and he says, "What?" And that
She's
was
like,
when
yeah, he was a
Tubi
lot like you.
he was a lot like you. And that was when Tubi cut me to a commercial at that exact fucking moment. And I was dying laughing at, like, I had a guy killed once. What? Boom.
Tubi has better timing and writing
Mm
in
hmm.
its ad placement than
Mm
this
hmm.
movie.
For sure.
I
So
love that for you.
they're like, okay, now I guess we got to shower before we get on this plane. And what do they find in the same exact bathroom they had sex in, Garrett?
Her boyfriend who's been gutted Maybe
There's so
there's
much blood. The fact that they and clearly this didn't happen while they were having sex. So like they God only knows how long this body has been in there. I'm sure it smells terrible, right? And they had sex in that bathroom and didn't notice.
oh yeah, they were kissing, and it took her a while for her head to go to the side where her boyfriend is dead. He was a little abusive, so we're not so sad about it. Like,
We're
she
not
really
super
moves
sad.
on. It is really just more of 60 seconds of processing gross, icky dead body
Oh,
more
gross
than
looking dead body we just happened to not notice for an hour before. They've been there at least an hour.
where the movie goes from here is the most
Woo
fun part of
boy.
the entire movie.
Mhm, mhm,
'Cause
mhm.
we basically hit the entire action portion of this movie. They got to get out of there. They're driving away in a van. The guy who tried to inject him earlier is now in a car being driven by a child.
Yes. Well, it's not a child, it's a woman dressed as a child.
But in the scene, like, this guy is shooting an Uzi out
Yeah,
of a
yeah, yeah.
window,
Here
and
in
he says,
Kansas City.
keep it straight, kid." And at this point, we don't know this is a woman, but when it cuts
No.
over, it is like a child looking through the top part of the steering wheel to see over the
Mhm.
dashboard. And I'm like, oh my God, we have an actual 10-year-old.
Yeah, they probably had to, strap some books to the child's feet so that they could reach the pedals.
I love this henchman, not the female child, but the gym coach looking
That
like
fucker. You know that he was the gym coach that got so mad at the girl who was wearing like the her pajamas in gym class and didn't want to run the mile and I can just see him yelling at her right now.
he's like she says she's on her period again, so she's reading Jane Eyre over on the bleachers. I hate her. And then somehow he gets mixed up in this Uzi business where also
Yes.
they're running through it. They escape. They're running through a train yard, and the child, who is just probably a 20-year-old woman, is firing a gun. The gym coach with an Uzi behind this child just starts firing. And the way the camera's positioned looks like he fires it all at his partner.
It does.
Just a oh my God, Kit.
So car chase, and then we're running around in a train yard. It's basically like the end of Heat, but real stupid.
Dumb heat.
Dumb Heat. And then
Humid
this
is what
guy's
we'll call this one.
Oh, that's good, Garrett. That's really good. Yeah, and he does. This man is so pathetic that the the woman takes out both of the henchmen. He does
Yeah.
nothing. He does
Oh, he
nothing.
gets the fight between him and the gym coach is hilarious. He gets kicked in the ribs in the exact same manner what felt like 30 times in a row, which was just
Mhm.
like, like a slow, like it felt like a Family Guy sketch where they're like, okay, where you're watching it, it's not funny, it goes too long, and they somehow
Mhm.
know the exact formula that on the last one it makes you laugh one more time before they stop. Like it
Exactly.
is, but before the kicking kit, the guy comes at him with an Uzi, has it pointed. Our derpy lead has enough time to stand there, slowly grab a pipe as the man watches him and whap it out of his hand. Same with the syringe. For a gym coach, this man has terrible hand-eye coordination, has terrible speed, reflexes. The only gym coach thing you got going for you is that haircut, sir.
It's really and your inexplicable hatred for the girl who's wearing her PJ pants.
It's annoying. It's just it's not inexplicable. He hates that she's treating him like an idiot and he can't question it.
Yeah, yeah.
So she feels like she got one over on him, but he just wants her to know that she didn't. Like that's what he
Yes.
hates, is that he
Mhm.
has to pretend like he's
Still got
been
the
foiled.
authority. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really bad fight choreography. It's not good. I've seen children put one together for like little movies that they're making in their backyards that is more competently done than this by far.
Oh, like me and my friend's backyard wrestling
Mhm.
had more drama and like clearly just they didn't have stuntmen and no one could get hurt. Like, or the whole production is fucked.
Right. Then you still could have put a little bit more into it than he'll point the Uzi at him and then he'll pick up a pipe and swing it at the Uzi.
Honestly, as little effort as they put into it, I was angry enough that I would have accepted them just killing a cast member for real on camera. I'm watching Snuff now. I'm a little scarred, but I don't walk away from this having felt like I could have been outside petting a dog. I could have thrown a frisbee. I could have taken up frolf. I could have taken up frisbee golf. But I spent 90 minutes with Fleshtone. And I'm going to remember things about this movie for the rest of my life because my brain fucking sucks. And
Why? What's it gonna hit you with when you're starting to you're trying to fall asleep some night? What thoughts about flesh tone are gonna invade your brain?
well, that, me and him have a lot of similarities. What you might ask? Well,
Yeah.
we we're both wild, dark, romantic, something to do
Hmm.
with ecstasy and death, pain and desire.
Hmm.
We just
Hmm.
have the same kind of imagination, to literally quote
Mm.
him.
That's the other thing is he keeps telling this woman like it's so amazing that we found each other. If I hadn't read that paper, two people who are so perfect for each other might never have found each other. And she's like, "You don't even know me." And he's like, "Yes,
And
I
he's
do. Yes, I do." And he calls her by the wrong name.
she's like, "My name is Jennifer." Like at the end of this movie, he's still saying this shit and she's just like, "I have been lying to you.
My
Everything
name
we talked about was fake."
You can't be like, "Edna, I love you so much. I wanna live with you and we're gonna have the most beautiful life together." And her name's not fucking Edna, you pathetic trash man. Like get it through your thick ass skull. Wait, did we explain why she had a guy killed that one time?
I don't even remember what her explanation was.
Her explanation was that she was dating a married man who wanted to leave his wife for her, but she was already seeing her new abusive boyfriend, and she wanted him instead. And so the married man started like stalking her, so she had her abusive boyfriend get some of his friends to go kill him.
Huh.
Yeah.
So she sucks too.
She sucks a lot. Like, yeah, he probably shouldn't have stalked her or whatever, but like she just straight up had this dude murdered and doesn't feel bad.
We have a murderer and a wanted man
Mhm.
on the lam now, headed
Mhm.
back to Los Angeles.
Once again, they just they'll let anyone on a plane.
This plane scene,
Mhm.
Kit, as it cuts to them on the plane, they are wildly making out, which little jealous. I've never made out on a cross country flight and
Mm-mm.
probably would make it awesome. You know, flights aren't fun. If you had to like a half hour of kissing here and there, like to
Would I, Garrett? Because I feel like I would be really, like, I wouldn't want to do that to the people around me. I'm too nice to want to subject all the people around me to my allowed sloppy makeout. They obviously don't give a fuck about their fellow passengers. They are selfish, horrible people.
there's 3 things you need for this to be okay, for you to be okay
Mhm.
with it, I guess. 1,
Mhm.
you have to be an idiot.
Mhm.
2, you have to be inconsiderate.
Mhm. Mhm.
And 3, in love.
Oh, I don't know about love. This woman is so commitment phobic that she is more afraid of settling down with him than she is of the contract killers that are currently hunting them down. She's more afraid of moving in with him than she is of the bomb that was under her car.
Oh, no, she's not in love, I'm sorry, he is in love.
Oh,
Deeply,
right.
and since they've met, he has had so many boyfriend talks with her, where he's just like, "So
Yes.
we're boyfriend and girlfriend now."
And
And she's
she's
like,
like,
"I
you
don't like labels."
She's like, "I don't like labels. Also, please call me by my actual name. I'm not gonna be your girlfriend if you can't remember my name."
Oh, man. So
So
he
yeah,
tries to finger her on the plane in front of everybody.
in front of God and everyone. No, they put a blanket over it, so it's fine. Although it kind of
She
looked like
does. He was gonna go for it. He
oh,
was
you're
just
right.
gonna he was headed down he was headed up her shirt and down her pants at the same time somehow in a real
It was
slithery gross boy motion.
it was extremely lucky that no one was in the window seat in their aisle because man, can you imagine having to sit next to those two fuckwads?
I mean, and make for a story.
It certainly would. But yeah,
How was your
he's
trip to LA?
how
Well,
was your trip to LA? Well,
one of the
uh
Columbine kids fingered Molly Ringwald on the whole.
and then she sort of seems like she falls asleep while he's fingering her, which to me says that on the scale of being good at dexterous digits, that he is nowhere near the level of Nick Cage and Zandali. Not even close.
I mean, sometimes you get your nut and it's like a little melatonin. It's like a little turkey on Thanksgiving. It's
He had not been down there that long. No way. He had just
also
gotten his hand in
sometimes
her pants.
sometimes you're with the biggest fucking loser you've ever been with in your life and you just pretend to be asleep.
I'm literally only doing this because otherwise people are trying to kill me.
The landing
Anyway,
where
the flight attendant.
comes and folks, you have to put your seatbelt on. Hey, wake up. Her head moves, blood pouring out of her ears. She's dead.
Yep. She's murdered and he never even learned her name, Garrett.
The best thing after she is somehow murdered on this plane is that they have the entire he is in the front row and they have the entire plane deboard to watch this
Mhm.
crying man hug a dead body, and they all make direct eye contact with him. They deboard the whole plane before they
I
get
mean,
the
yeah.
corpse off.
Well, yeah, they're gonna, yeah. It makes perfect sense. And yes, including the killer. The killer also makes direct eye contact with him.
This
Um
was a Spirit Airlines flight, by the way.
I would bet 20 fucking dollars that when he told the flight attendants about this, that he said, "My girlfriend Edna
Who
is
loved me
dead.
very, very much.
Loved me very, very much, is dead." And so, good on this flight attendant or captain. I don't know who it was who was like, they're gonna make arrangements for her. Come with me, and they'll take care of everything. And then, oh, I forgot something on the plane. You just keep going. I'll be right there. And then, boom, cops.
So he's getting interrogated. He doesn't know shit. They find out that he's a fucking loser, and they clearly are in on whatever happened.
Yes.
But this is their perfect chance
Mm-hmm.
to just kill a witness
Yeah.
and to do us a favor. Because
Yes.
I actually would have loved for him to not make it to the end of this movie, but they just let him go because they're like, he's too sad and pathetic, and no one will ever believe him anyway.
It's so stupid. They're like, your conspiracy shit sounds really dumb. And he's like, "Well, I have a tape recorder." And so they played the tape recording where she's explaining that, you know, people paid her to have phone sex with him, and that, you know, they took the pictures to plant as evidence, and they're just like, yeah, okay. I'm like, this is just him talking to anyone. He could have recorded, like, excuse me, neighbor, could you just record this random conversation with me? Here's a script. Like, there's no proof. This proves literally nothing. And so he is rightly just as confused as we are when they're like, all right, go, let him go. He's like, wait, what? This did it for you? This proved it? That can't be right. That can't be right. You're just letting me go. And they're like, yeah, these people were killed for knowing too much, so maybe it's better if you just don't know anything and you just go home. You're too dumb for the conspiracy people to kill you.
So he's gone and out in the parking lot with his buddy. His buddy's like, "What happened?" And he's just kind of, "I don't know. I don't,
No.
I don't
Well,
know.
well, who did it? I don't know.
I don't
Like,
know."
was it the mob or the government? Was it the mob and the government? I don't know. Just some powerful people just don't want people to know what happened.
Welp,
I guess
let's
we'll
go to
never
the
know.
let's go get a drink.
Let's go back to the alley and play my guitar some more.
That's where it ends
E
with him in his
is for
trash pile.
Edna. D is for decapitation. Uh, yeah.
N is
He
for
gets
never finding love again.
A is for airplane. Yeah, he hears a weird noise and gets spooked and goes inside. And I guess the message of that is that he'll never, not be looking over his shoulder uh, to see if someone's going to try to kill him. But the movie seems to be pretty content with the idea of, like, this man is too pathetic to kill. He's too pathetic to kill. We won't.
Well, this is the worst movie we've covered on here.
I mean,
Not even
yes,
close.
not even close.
What's a close? I mean, what literally will be the next worst movie we've done?
Meridian, I
No,
guess.
because that was fun,
Um,
and I
okay,
didn't
what
hate
about the
everybody.
one? The one Revenge? That one was pretty bad.
Revenge wasn't good, but
Revenge
we
made me angry and sad and feel negative feelings. This one was by far the most, like, just incompetently made.
we this was too deep in the chest of dog shit.
Yeah,
Papa
Garrett.
G stuck his hand too far towards the bottom. Like, sometimes you just want to dip your toe in the shit treasure chest, and this was like, I went elbow deep. This is what came up. And we watched and recorded it because you're not going to just see this whole movie and not make an episode about it. Is it a
Oh God,
waste of
no.
everybody's time? Did we
Yes.
waste the listeners' time, our time? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we did. Yeah,
We
we
did.
did. I'm sorry. And this means next week,
Papa G, you've disappointed us.
we got to do a banger next week. We got to do like a real one, a really good one that people like. We got to
Mm-hmm.
make up for this.
Yeah, we're sorry.
It's not fair to anyone that this happened.
It's not fair to us. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to that lady who had to have sex with the most pathetic man to ever walk this earth. It's not fair
Have you
that
ever
that guy
gotten
didn't get killed.
Have you ever
I
gotten fingered in such a boring manner that you died?
would. Oh, Garrett, this was the last man she had sex with. How depressing is that? Garrett, would the movie have been better if they had killed him at the end? If would that have improved the movie if he had actually
I
died?
I mean, it wouldn't make the movie better, but like I would have gotten some satisfaction. I would have felt, okay, well, at least I don't have to live the rest of my life knowing in
That
my
that
head that this
man
character
lives.
lives on.
Yeah, and the fact that over the end credits they show all of his paintings so that you can look at all his dumb butlers again, because that's what you really needed was more butlers.
I did like the butler from this.
You know, we never discussed. He thinks his fetish is all about sex and death and cutting people in half. It's not. His fetish is butlers, and I don't know why we didn't get into that more. I don't know why he didn't get into that.
Well, he's longing for her, but he's a horny poor who will never be able to.
Be worthy of her.
He can eat in the basement of Downton Abbey, but he will never eat out in the bedroom of Downton Abbey. Like he's
So true, Garrett. So fucking true.
back to the
Yeah,
servants'
no.
quarters, Bates.
There's just this is the worst man. He is the worst man. I hate him. I hate everything about him. And
Hate the
Garrett,
movie. Hate.
I don't want to do this, but we have to.
God damn it.
On a scale of 1 to 5, were you aroused?
2.
You got them boobies? The
Actually,
boobies really did it
actually,
for you?
maybe no 1. 1
Mhm.
because even when I was looking at nudity, it was overlaid on the top of him with his junk stuffed,
Mhm.
like
Into
smiling on
them.
a phone call.
Yeah. Yeah. You never got pure just sexy ladies. Instead, they just had to put this sad sack of a man intertwined with all of it.
Like, how am I supposed to enjoy the lesbian erotica when I also have to sit here and know that this guy thinks this happened?
Yes. That is a pretty good point
Point
because
5 actually as we talk to number.
Mm. Because it's not just you didn't get to see two actual ladies, you got to see his fantasy. You were in his brain, Garrett.
Yeah, if you were aroused by that, you got
You're just
aroused
like
inside of an
him.
idiot's brain.
What does that say about you? You
That's
don't
it,
want
like
to be
we
there.
it's like arousal inception. Like we're just like one my idiot
Ah!
brain, his idiot brain. Hate it. Point 5. Actually point 1. 0.1006.
Because you can't take away from it the fact that there were some nice boobies. Uh, but dear God, is it ruined by this pathetic limp rag of a man?
Sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and in
Mm,
1994 on Cinemax, you just as well have gone to bed horny.
yeah,
Like, or just
yeah.
like, I guess
Use
I
your
get,
own imagination. Your own imagination's got to be better than what this dude's coming up with.
but you'd already seen part of this and it's tainted and he's in your head. Like, it's gonna take a week and a half
Yeah.
to get Martin Kemp out of your head, and I don't like sex today.
Oh no, this man has ruined sex for you.
Kit, hit it with a number.
I'm with you on 0.05 because his anti charisma really does suck all the joy of sex out of the room.
Put it this way, with both of our scores combined, if it were if it were a breathalyzer number, you could still drive a car.
100% still drive a car. All right, Garrett, were you thrilled?
No.
No,
Um
no. Him hitting that Uzi with a pipe didn't thrill you?
I laughed really, really hard. Him getting kicked like 13 times in the exact same manner was great. But no,
Mhm.
nothing. There were no real. Actually, the finding out that woman had been perfectly halved was pretty great.
That was pretty good
Um,
thrill. The perfect having of a woman. Shooting. It was surprising when the car pulls up alongside him and the guy starts firing into their vehicle. That was a little something,
yeah, a
right?
point 5. We'll give it half a star.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll both go with 0.5 on this.
By the way, this
And
movie was available on Criterion Channel at one point. Because as I
stop
looked
it.
through Letterbox reviews, there were so many people that were like, "What did Criterion Channel do to? Why was this hidden in the middle of a bunch of good movies? Where they tricked me into watching this on the Criterion Channel?"
That is monstrous. That is false advertising of the highest caliber. That is unforgivable. Would you ruin your life for Edna?
No.
What
Who
if
would you
she's
consider? Gun to your head, you got to ruin your life for somebody in this movie.
You have to think about it though. This man chose to ruin his life not for a real person. He ruined his life for his imagination of a real person. A person who drives her car real fast wearing only a coat and touching herself while looking at a picture of him. That's who he ruined his life for. That person
And
ain't
he didn't even
real.
ruin his life. He's just back to square one.
That's a good point. His life needed to be more ruined.
It's the same. He got to have
Yeah.
sex. That woman died because this man is poison. He
Yeah,
is
really,
he is a charisma black hole.
she's the one who ruined her life.
Poor gal.
Yeah, I feel for her. Mostly because she had to spend so much of her final hours on this planet
Getting
with
fingered.
him, getting fingered by him. That's tragic.
Well,
Oh
everybody,
boy.
I'm sorry, they can't all be winners. It, I love you guys. This is,
Mhm. Mhm.
apologies to everybody. But as
Papa
always,
G, Papa G can't always be bringing us the good stuff.
I,
You
we
know.
found it took a while, but we got there, and I'm sorry. We'll hit you with some heat next week. Uh,
Yep.
we'll raise the temperature on the humidity, get something actual good going. But hey, thanks so much for listening. We love
Yes.
you. As always, at Erotic Thriller Club on Instagram, eroticthrillerclub@gmail.com. If you have questions, comments, concerns,
Go ahead and like, rate, review, subscribe, whatever it is you got to do on the
comment.
platform. Comment, tell us hi. Tell us if you have similarly had to talk your friend out of believing that the phone sex lady is in love with him. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, hit it. You know what? In the comments on the YouTubes or the Spotify or whatever, hit us up with your scores for these movies. I would love to see
Oh
those.
yeah,
Were we
absolutely.
wrong? I mean, it's all subjective, but hey, as always, wet your snails.
Stop it.
I want to shake you naked, need you alive.